Hey there, everybody. So I heard that you don't want to vote because you figured out that Democrats and Republicans are just money grubbers or some other reason. Well, that's cool. You have every right to do that. But please have a look at something with me and consider looking at your decision from another viewpoint. So we're over here in Florida and we're going to talk about the pit bull lobby. We're going to talk about Ron DeSantis and we're going to talk about a really great pit bull documentary. So come along with me. First off, we're looking at Miami, Florida. So look at the eligibility of voters. So 41% are not of voting age. So when you refuse to vote, when you refuse to look at these pit bull loving, dog attack ignoring politicians and do something to at least try to vote them out of office, what you're doing is hurting all of these kids. So hopefully you can see this as I have the screen set, but have a look at it for yourself. All of these kids that are in the next 10 or 20 years are going to be attacked by pit bulls or have their parents removed from them by pit bulls or other dogs. Your vote right now today is affecting their life. And look at all these people that refuse to vote. These dark gray areas, those are the people that are sitting at home thinking to themselves, I'm not going to give you my vote. Ha ha ha. I figured out politics. So I figured it all out. I'm not going to vote. I'm just going to sit at home eating freaking chips and sucking down freaking sugar. I'll show those politicians. Actually, you're not showing them anything. You're just showing them that you don't give a crap and you don't care what happens in your country. And so they're going to do whatever the hell they want. They're going to do all of this stuff while you sit back there and judge them and refuse to vote for them. But they're laughing at you. They're sitting on their pile of money, laughing at your lazy butt. So, since we're talking about pit bull loving Florida, Ron DeSantis, pit bull lover, dog culture promoter, let's go look at some stuff going on in Florida. We're over here at the Florida Dog Attacks playlist, and there's a lot of dogs doing a lot of bad stuff to a lot of people in Florida.
Terrified and screaming for help. A Cooper City woman moments after a dog.
Yep, a woman out doing her job gets attacked by a dog. This stuff happens all the time in Florida. There was a man in a wheelchair attacked by a pit bull. Look at some of these videos in this playlist. I got about 40 videos from about 13 years ago all the way up to a couple weeks ago. We have postal workers being killed. We have dog owners getting killed by their own dogs. A wheelchair bound woman. This story right here, a wheelchair bound woman killed by a pit bull. So when you refuse to vote, you're voting for this type of stuff. Example, Ron DeSantis. Yup, that's right. I critique Republicans too. You guys probably noticed I point out a lot of Democrat stuff in my channel. But this Ron DeSantis guy, he lifted a pit bull ban because supposedly that's going to get more people into more houses. You know, evidently a lot of people in Florida own pit bulls, and many apartment owners and managers don't want these destructive dogs in the apartment, but they're going to go ahead and just let the dogs in the apartments anyways. So, Ron DeSantis, you guys voted him in, and a vote against Ron DeSantis is going to be a vote against pit bulls. So, right now, as of October 2024, there's another hurricane in Florida. And so there was a pit bull tied up to a fence, they say. So here's Ron DeSantis. He is going to scold his fellow Floridians for not taking care of these poor little puppies. You bad people, you bad animal abusers. Well, okay, fine. But in the meantime, this dude right here is lifting a pit bull ban while pit bulls kill his citizens. And think about this. if Ron DeSantis is sitting there with his team and they're thinking to themselves, oh my goodness, are people going to realize about all the pit bull attacks? And are they going to come after you for lifting a pit bull ban? Well, let's go back. Let's go back to all of these non participating, lazy ass voters. Ron DeSantis and his team, they're going to sit back. They're going to look at all these statistics. They're going to go on YouTube. They're going to look up the anti dog channels. They're going to cross reference that to your comments where you say that you're not going to vote. And they're going to sit back and laugh at your dumbass. And they're going to be like, we can get away whatever the hell we want to with these pit bulls because these people are refusing to vote. They ain't going to do anything to us. So by not casting your vote, you're just incentivizing these people to push pit bulls harder and harder. And the downstream effect of that is children and babies and infants being killed by these dogs. So yeah, you ought to freaking vote. Notice Ron DeSantis, he vows to hold accountable any pet owners who tied up their animals outside ahead of Hurricane Milton. Well, how about any pit bull attacks that happened? Well, he doesn't have to worry about that because so many people sit back, sitting on their freaking hands, talking about how they ain't going to vote. Ron DeSantis and his team, they see you guys out there. They see you refusing to vote. So of course they can get away with this crap because you've given them the message that you don't give a shit. You know, it's kind of funny. I used to be a bit of a Ron DeSantis fan. And then Donald Trump started ripping on him. And at that point, I was actually angry at Donald Trump. But then I started looking into Ron DeSantis more. Ron DeSantis is a total frickin' pit bull pusher. And he appears to be connected to the pit bull lobby. So that actually cemented my interest in Donald Trump and further made me think that Ron DeSantis is just a pit bull pusher controlled by some type of pit bull lobby. This whole little story of the pit bull that supposedly a state trooper found tied to a fence, it all seems set up to garner the attention of pit bull worshippers. So now let's go look at somebody else. So we have here the Pitbull Unleashed 5th Estate documentary. Highly recommend watching this. Very good. So you see this lady right here? She's a lobbyist, a pit bull pusher. And when children are killed by pit bulls, let me show you what this lady says.
Winner for Best Friends is Ledy a lawyer, a lobbyist, and a lifelong pit bull lover. Why do pit bulls need lobbying? Why do they need an organization? Why do they need a network fighting for them?
Well, I think they are the most misunderstood breed of dog there is, and they're just dogs. They're not werewolves, So there's been so much hysteria involved with these dogs, and so much media hype. Actually, even though I don't like to use this term, it's one place where there probably is a lot of fake news. So that's why.
So that was actually a little rip on Donald Trump. Donald Trump used to call news fake news.
A lot of times they can't speak for themselves, so we need to get the truth out there.
But could it be the hundreds of reports every year of pit bull attacks are all dead wrong? I read Van Cabbage some headlines we found online in one randomly chosen month. This was September 2016. Pit bull run rampant in New Mexico. Pit bull attacked man in Florida. 5-year-old girl attacked by pit bull. Palm Desert. Portage, Indiana. Residents concerned about pit bulls after an attack. A Lapine officer recovering after pit bull attack. A pit bull attack in Northern Carolina on UPS driver. Woman has been hospitalized after a pit bull attack in Oakland Hills. And on and on and on. And this is 1 month. Now, in your opinion, and I know you haven't seen each and every one of these cases, do you believe this is all fake news?
I believe some of it is media bias. I do. I think the hype has led people to have this perception of it. And again, I think a lot of it is because of media bias or fake news.
So I asked her about the tragic death of 14-month-old Daxton Borkhardt, the little boy who was ripped from the arms of his babysitter by her two supposedly family-friendly dogs. Was that fake news too?
It is very, very tragic.
So notice what this pit bull lobbyist, who is also a powerful person in politics, I'll show you that in a minute. Notice what she says.
But most of the dog-related fatalities involve unsupervised children. I don't know what happened that day.
She was holding the child at the time.
I can't. I don't know if the child was crying. I don't know
The child was crying. In the mind of this pit bull pusher, who has been put in power by people that refuse to vote.
History of the dogs.
But if the child was crying,
well,
like this lady does not give a shit.
What kind of dog would attack a child?
A dog that's unstable. And there are dogs of any breed.
So, in the mind of this woman, a crying child is one of her first go-to reasons that a pit bull might attack. Wow. So, do you know who that lady is that I just showed you? Ledy Van Cavage, Senior Legislative Attorney, Best Friends Animal Society. Go ahead and read up on this. Illinois Appellate Court and U.S. District Court for the Southern District of Illinois. This is an elected position. This is also a position that she can get when people don't bother to show up and vote. She can get into a position like this by default by 1 or 2 votes. I don't know exactly how the voting went, but she is connected to county politicians and other people that are part of all of these people that push pit bulls. So when this lady right here that has no problem seeing pit bulls kill children, when she looks at stuff like this, these voter turnouts, when her team that helps push pit bulls, she's part of a huge lobbying pit bull team. When her team looks out there and sees all of these people that say, I'm not gonna vote, I'll show those frickin' Democrats. They're sitting back there laughing at you, getting ready to fleece you of as much tax money as they can while they fill your communities with child-killing pit bulls. So, that has been 2 examples. This lady right here and Ron DeSantis in Florida. When you sit back and don't vote, you put these people into power and you allow them to slip by unnoticed because they see you sitting back there with your hands under your butt cheeks, refusing to vote, and your refusal to vote takes away a little bit of breath from every child that is killed by these people and their pet pit bulls.